Hey, what's up? My name is Sal. You might know me from this book, the Kickstarter Launch Formula. This book is available on Amazon, on Audible. You can also grab a paperback version. And basically, I made this book, I wrote this book specifically for you because I wanted to teach you step by step how to launch an effective Kickstarter campaign or an effective Indiegogo campaign. What is actually the formula that you can copy in order to raise money effectively on Kickstarter? What are the tried and true principles? What are the strategies? What are the techniques that actually work to bring campaigns funding, as well as being aware of other stuff like reward fulfillment costs, how to make a great video, all that stuff I cataloged in this book. Now, after writing this book, I've gotten a lot of questions from readers, from students of mine, from even people that have also enrolled in my coaching programs, etc., wondering, hey Sal, like this is awesome, but do you have some kind of video training that accompanies this book? Like, I love reading, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I'd love it if there's like a video training module out there where I could just get and look at these different lessons. I can get a sense of how all this works, and it's really all in one place. So I started to mull that over for a little bit, and I want to tell you about what I created and what I came up with for you. But before we do, I want to get into why I am so passionate about crowdfunding, why this is something that's actually important to me and something that's I'm enthusiastic about for the last 6 years. You know, I got into this industry in 2012. How is it that I've been able to maintain that level of enthusiasm and passion? And why do I just still love working with entrepreneurs and crowdfunding campaign creators? You know, when I first got into the industry, there wasn't anything in the way of education at all. It was really badly, sorely needed. If anything, there were like a few blog posts out there that really weren't very helpful, and it was all the rage. Like in 2012, Kickstarter was becoming more mainstream, more popular. We were seeing campaigns getting funded wildly, 6 and 7 figures, and everyone was just kind of like scratching their head and like, like how does this campaign actually raise money? Like, how is it or why is it that people actually donate to these campaigns online? Like, what are you actually getting for that? Why do these campaigns go viral? And like everyone else, my curiosity, I admit it was really piqued. Like, I didn't know. I wanted to find out the answer. So I sort of went through this process of studying different campaigns, looking at the inner workings of campaigns, starting to interview creators, and just getting a sense of like this movement that was happening. And I started to sort of informally share this content and share some of my findings online. So I started to write on my blog, crowdcrux.com. I just kind of started it for fun, quite honestly. Like, I was just writing and sharing my findings, and people found it to be really helpful. I started to get comments. I started to get people messaging me and emailing me. I started having my articles shared all over the web, and like, lo and behold, I ended up being cited by some major media publications like the New York Times, CNN, Wall Street Journal, Forbes. People were saying really, really nice things about my work. But at the same time, just me being passionate, like, I was just following what I was interested in. I was just following what was, to me, just fascinating. The fact that a campaign out of nowhere can get funding and raise significant amounts. I just wanted to know why and how was this happening? Like, how is it that you actually get someone to give you money? How is it they actually attract traffic and attention to a campaign? What goes into a video that actually makes someone, after watching that video, decide to say, yeah, I believe in this entrepreneur. Yes, I want to give them my hard-earned money. I'm going to open up my wallet, take out my credit card, and I want to own one of these products. What causes someone to say that? As I started to catalog some of my findings more and more, I started to sort of unearth and stumble upon proven principles that work with every single crowdfunding campaign category out there. So whether you're doing a film campaign, you're doing a technology gadget, a design product, a game, a tabletop, it doesn't matter. It could be a publishing project. I was finding and uncovering these principles that work with every single category out there. And it was really remarkable to me. It's like I was discovering this entire new base of knowledge. So I knew I had to get this out there. And like, you know, that's one of the things I love to do. I love to write, I love to teach, I love to educate. So aside from writing on the blog, I also started to do podcast interviews. I started a podcast called Crowdfunding Demystified, which has been downloaded hundreds of thousands of times. I've had on many successful entrepreneurs, more than 200 episodes that I've conducted with that podcast. I also have a YouTube channel by the same name, Crowdfunding Demystified, where I put out tips and advice and all that kind of stuff. And I've also written other books on crowdfunding. So my mission has always been to try to disseminate valuable information and education so that you can use it to build a business, to attract talent, to actually get funding for your dream, and hopefully really make a radical shift in your own life and in that way kind of make a small dent in the universe. What I'm doing today is I'm bringing together all the things that I've accumulated over the last 6 years. I'm taking all these findings, all these resources, all these ways that are proven to get funding, and I'm basically bringing them together in this one online course, this one resource for you. I've had a lot of students who have found me from my YouTube channel, lots of people on there, more than 7,000 subscribers, and many of them have come to me and said, hey, it's great, like you have a video here, a video there on Kickstarter, on crowdfunding, they're always really high quality, but is there one place, like one curriculum where I can just go through, I can sort of check these off, and I can learn step by step how to launch a campaign that raises funds? Can I learn how to actually build an email list, how to build a social following, how to put together a video with a story that converts people into buyers and into supporters, and of course, how to do other stuff like craft effective reward tiers? How do you get attention and traffic and traction onto your actual campaign? What are the ways out there that I can use for my category, maybe not having a super big budget or a super big team, that I can reach those super backers that everyone talks about? What I'm bringing to you today is a course that accompanies this book, the Kickstarter Launch Formula. And what this course does is not only going through and answering every one of those questions and going really nitty gritty into the strategy of a crowdfunding campaign, but it also brings you some secret videos that I've never shared anywhere else online. These videos are sort of the persuasion mechanisms that get someone to say, yes, I need this. Like, I don't know why I love this, but I just want this. Or will you take my money? They're really the persuasion mechanisms that you can use to turn someone who has never heard of you before in 30 minutes or in an hour to be totally bought in, to be a raving fan, and to be talking about your product with their Facebook friends, be talking about your product when you go to a party, be nonstop talking about your product. It's really those persuasion mechanisms that you can use to turn someone who's into a lurker, who has no idea or very vaguely idea of who you are, into a raving fan and someone who supports your Kickstarter or your Indiegogo campaign. In order to put together this curriculum for you, what I've done is, number one, we have the private training videos that I made specifically for this course on Udemy. Number two, I've put together and I've tailored my best YouTube videos. I put together and made this content available for you in a curriculum format, so you can literally go through number one. You don't have to be hunting around for the right video. What's the next thing I should learn? What's this? What's that? I've really put it together in a step-by-step framework. And of course, in addition, there are checklist items, there are things that you can go through, resources, if you will, that you can access as you're gearing up to the launch of your Kickstarter or your Indiegogo campaign. So I've also made that available to you. Along with all of this, you're also going to gain access to select discounts, which are only available for Udemy users, and also select promotions. So what I mean by that, I'm a coach here. I have coaching programs, I have long-term coaching programs. I also have other video training that covers other aspects of running a crowdfunding campaign, things like PR, for example. So when you enroll today, you're going to gain access to some of these exclusive perks and also some of the discounts on my other programs if you are interested, no pressure, in actually forwarding your learning. To give you an idea, one example is if you end up booking me for an individual coaching session where I pretty much give you tailored feedback, I review your project, I go over it, I make suggestions, we also get any questions that you have answered, really go in depth into what it is that you're trying to accomplish on Kickstarter. You hire me for one coaching session, I will also give you a free copy of my best-selling guide, Tricks for Launching a Successful Kickstarter Campaign. So when all is said and done, this is a lot of stuff that you're going to gain access to today when you enroll, but I also want to do something else, because as I've been personally transforming, I've also grown in the way that I come to learn new topics. So when I first got started, I would love to just read books. That's like how I learned a new topic. That's quite frankly how I got started with blogging and also writing my book, because I love to write and I also love to read. But then I started to get into podcasting, and podcasting was this entirely new medium. And I was like, wow, this is so interesting. I can be on the subway, I can be on the way to work, I can be walking down the street in New York City, and I can be listening to a podcast, and can also be downloading that information into my brain. So I didn't want you to be stuck, if you will, with just watching these videos on Udemy, because I know that can be really long and tedious this sometimes, and you don't always have access to really good Wi-Fi or a good internet connection to actually watch these videos. So what I've done to combat this problem is I've put together an album, if you will, of all of the audio tracks going with this particular program, the Kickstarter Launch Formula. So if you want to, you can download all of these in bulk, you can download them to your phone, and you can listen to this in the car, on the way to work, wherever you are. If you have already purchased the Audible version of my book, The Kickstarter Launch Formula, yes, this is different from the Audible version. It's the actual audio files of the course lessons which you are about to gain access to. So I hope that you enjoy the offering that I have here and that I've presented to you today. I hope that you take advantage on it quickly because, again, preparation is the mother of success. The faster that you get started on this information, the better when it comes to launching an effective Kickstarter campaign. This is going to be for you if you want to discover the tried and true principles for actually driving traffic and getting pledges for a Kickstarter campaign. This is for you if you also want to learn how to put together an effective pitch video. If you're an author, a publisher, you're an entrepreneur, you've put together your own fashion line, you've created a tabletop game, you're a musician and you want to put out an album, literally any category on Kickstarter, if you apply these principles to them, you will be successful. I'm really excited to get this course in your hands. I also hope that we can work together in a larger way. I love working with entrepreneurs that have a big vision, that want to accomplish something, really make a dent in the universe, and also people that are authentic and gracious and realize that this isn't just about money, it's also about changing the world. It's also about putting out a product that other people can experience and that can improve their life in some way. Down below here, you'll find the enroll button somewhere. Just click that, join the program. I promise you're going to be really happy with it, and I will see you on the other side.